Hello once again and welcome back to the channel. Now I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has subscribed over the last week. We absolutely smashed the 100 subscriber goal, so I'm absolutely over the moon. So I just want to say thank you once again to every single one of you. Now today's video, it's, well, as you saw from the thumbnail, it's a little embarrassing, shall we say. Now, anyone that knows me knows that Interlagos is my favourite track. That's a very well-established thing on this channel, so I was pumped to be racing here for the FIA. I thought this was my time for a win, or at least a podium. So, as the lobby loads in, we're going to put the soft tyres on for the qualifying. Now, we've got 157 points here up for grabs. Now I was expecting, like I said, to at least finish in the top 3 because this is such a good track for me and I'm always really good here. Now I'm going to emphasize the word normally, because as you're about to witness, things go wrong for me from the get-go. So we're going to start qualifying here now. Got the brake balance set all the way to the rear to save the tyres. Now as we come out, we're behind the jag, so I think I'm going to stick with the jag. And straight away, yeah, not great. So I slowed down to let him back on in front of me, and I went off the track. Right now, because I thought I slowed down, I didn't think I'd get a penalty, but the game decided to give me a half-second penalty. So very quickly exit and start again. But this now means that I am not with the pack of cars. As you can see on the little mini map, the whole pack is miles away from me. So as we're going to qualify here, we're going to finally set qualifying time. Now we're in 20th at the minute. It's done last, no laps set, and we get put into 9th. There's no point doing a second lap. The tyres are dead. As qualifying comes to an end, we're going to start in 11th. Now, not the best, but most definitely not the worst for a lap that wasn't no slipstream, and obviously I'd had the drama of having to go through all the penalty and whatnot, so a little bit of focus was lost. So now we're going to show you, I think, 8 laps, and there's no cuts, there's no nothing. We're going to go through all 8 laps, and we're going to watch together what happens, because everything was going so well, and then it all went drastically wrong. So please stay tuned to the end. Yeah, hopefully this is so embarrassing that you find it funny. Right, so starting in 11th, we opted for the medium tyres. We'll get the difficult stint over and done with. Now I've got the brake balance set to all the way to the rear, because tyre wear is quite hefty in this race, and the fronts wear out considerably quicker than the rear. But however, with the brake balance set all the way to the rear, the car is very tricky to drive. The second you let off the brake pedal, the rotation is immense. So it took ultimate focus to literally squeeze that brake pedal off. You don't just press it and then slide your foot off. Like, you really have to focus on it. And if anything, it was probably a little bit too much for me to be able to do. I wasn't confident enough. It sort of distracted me going through the corners, as you're going to see later on in the race. So as we get over through the first lap, we're very bunched up with these pack of cars here all the way. There's no real breakaway yet. There's 2 cars that go absolutely insanely wild and just come hurtling back onto the racing line. Luckily, it didn't cause any dramas for anyone, because that could have been a right mess. So as we come up the hill, we are going to be in the slip of Abbey. Now, it's I wanted to be aggressive and I wanted to overtake, because I felt that this was a strong 11th was probably where I shouldn't have qualified in 11th. So I wanted to get past these cars as quick as possible, because there was a lot of battling going on in that first lap. As Abbey there in the Mercedes comes through and takes as much advantage of the curves as possible, and takes that position back from me pretty remarkably, to be fair. I reckon like that was the limit of how much curb you can take. Pretty impressive there. Yeah, so anyway, going back to what I was saying, the this battle here, everyone was really close together, and I wanted to get past. I felt I had more pace than these guys, and I wanted to get past this battle because it was very scrappy, very messy. And there's a Porsche up there, just copped a little half-second penalty. Now we're going to want to stay focused on that Porsche, because that's not the last time that we have to mention him, shall we say. Now he causes. I will not make any excuses. My driving was appalling for this race, but I felt like he started the problems for me. Now I'm not blaming him. It's my fault. I should have stayed composed. But if it wasn't for his behaviours, then I probably wouldn't have lost focus. But anyway, we will get round to that later on in the race. So we're gonna finish lap 2 here in P10. So we've gained 1 position. Now we've got the WRX behind me. This guy sticks with me all the way, and I cannot shake him. I was undecided here. Who slipped? Do I go in? Do I go in? Do I go in? This gentleman's here. Now, as you saw there, poor Mercedes there got absolutely turfed off the racing line by that Porsche. They're having some more battles here. The Mercedes is desperately trying to get back on the racing line. The Porsche should have really gave him some room. And respected the fact that he was there. So the Porsche is very questionable driving, and as you can see there, he didn't pull over to. Now it's one of those unwritten rules, really, that if you're getting a penalty and you're going over the penalty line, you move over off the racing line. He didn't. So I have every right to go to drive through him as he's ghosting, but he unghosted while he was in the middle of me, which was weird. So we got very unsettled going through there. Now he's behind me here. I'm pretty confident he's on the soft tyres. So I knew that he was going to get past me any minute now. As he gives me a lovely tap up the rear there. I don't do too much to defend it, and I let him pass. And I think, right, I will stay with you then. If you're that eager to get past me, I'm just gonna let you go. I'm not gonna challenge you, and hopefully you on the soft tyres can drag me along. But the only problem is that I probably had a little bit more pace than him, so it was making my life difficult to follow him. Because I got caught up in that whole, like, I don't want to get past him because he's just gonna force me off the track. He's gonna ram me off the track. He's gonna do this. So I wanted to. That's why I gave him a little bump draft there, because I'm thinking, right, if I can just push you along and speed you up a little bit, then hopefully we can catch up to P6 here. Ooh, excuse me. We can catch up to P6 here, and hopefully you won't absolutely kill me in the process if I go to overtake you. So that's the plan. Stay behind him. If anything, maybe force an error out of him. That'd be lovely, you know, because I don't think he deserves to be up in P7. I think he deserves to have a bit more penalty than what he did in that half a second. Now, as I go around the outside here, he squeezes me up onto the outside of the track, forces me off. The Subaru seizes the opportunity, no problem with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. GTR then comes through. So at this point, I am now absolutely livid, because there was no reason for that Porsche to do that. The corner had already started, that apex had already begun, and he was still forcing me off the track. So yeah, I wasn't happy at this point. This is where my focus started to go. It was a combination of everything. The accidental bump to the Jaguar in the warm-up, having to use a different brake balance than I've ever used. I normally use -1 to the front instant, and I was using 5 to the rear, so it was alien-like. And we've got this gentleman here in the Porsche who was just filthy, shall I say, filthy. So we're up into lap 5, and we're up into P9, so we're getting 2 positions. So it's not all bad. We could have had a lot more, I reckon. We could be in 7th, I feel. And if the road was a little bit clearer earlier on, we could have been a little bit higher and caught into that pack just in front. We're challenging for 6th. Now he's got another penalty, that guy there in the Porsche. So are we... no, he's not going to serve it here. He's going to have to serve it on the next lap. So So hopefully that's a position we can gain. Now I feel like I've got a bit more pace than this guy here in the GTR as well. So again, I'm getting held up. I've still got that WRX behind me. Now he looks for a move here, and I don't quite know why he did that. He just absolutely used me as a brake. He outbraked himself there and nearly took the GTR out. I get very unsettled going through there. Outbroke myself and ever so slightly touched him, and then I just get it all wrong. I massively outbrake myself. I hit the GTR. I don't overtake him. I wait until he's back underway, and then I go again. I get a penalty for that, which is fair. That's very fair. And then because I run wide on that exit, the game gives me a half-second penalty. So now we're up to 1.5 seconds, which is insanely frustrating. It's gone from, this lap 5 has gone from bad to worse, and unfortunately it's only going to get worse, and I mean only going to get worse. As we come into turn 1, someone's taken out the brake markers, which means that I outbrake myself massively, because unfortunately I used the cones as a brake marker. Now someone took out a double set of cones, so I didn't know where to brake. That's something I need to work on, and I absolutely took the WRX clean out. Now I move over to get off the racing line to serve my 2.5 second penalty, and as I do so, look at the amount of cars that come past me. It is ridiculous. So now we're back down into P12, which is not ideal, because we are back in that main pack of cars that I wanted to get away from. As we come into the second half of lap 6, we're getting through the nice twisty mid-section of the track. This is probably where I feel I'm strongest in this section. And now I've got a fellow Aston Martin driver behind me who sneaks up on the inside of that corner, but I'm going to be on that inside for the next. We get the car stopped nicely into second, we get that rotation and we power out, and we're behind 2 Jaguars, one with a penalty and one without. So hopefully if we can stay where we are, that is a free position. Now I turn in a little bit too soon there, a little bit unsettled. I have to stop, I have to less steering input halfway through the apex, which was a little bit, with this brake balance, a little bit scary, shall I say. Now we're in the slipstream range, we should get dragged along here by the 2 Jags. We are dragging the Aston behind us. Now again, you have to be very careful going into turn 1. The brake marker is gone for me, I brake early. The Aston Martin clearly outbrakes himself. Somehow, with the help of that other Jaguar, manages to stop his car. I mean, ridiculous. And we go side by side through here, and he doesn't get a penalty for that. Which, this game is confusing the hell out of me, shall I say. I get a half-second penalty for just going 2 wheels off the curb, going into the last corner, and I get a half-second penalty. This guy outbrakes himself, forces someone off the track, and gets nothing. Happy days, shall we say, because this game makes perfect sense. As the Jag, I don't know what happened there, outbroke himself massively, so he gained a free position there into 13th. That Aston runs wide there, can I get past him? But he's got the inside covered for this corner, but again, I'm gonna, no, not this time. He gets a perfect exit, and yep, I've got nothing. I can't get a move done on him at all. Now the tyre wear, the -5 tyre, the 5 tyre wear to the rear is absolutely working a treat. See, now again, look, I ran wide there. I don't get a penalty this time. We love the consistency. We love to see it. You love to see it. It's what makes this game great. It's what makes it stand out from the rest. Now, the pit window is, I mean, the pit window was, I think, lap 7 to 9, I reckon. Lap 7, very, very, very early pit stop. He's going for a super long stint on the mediums. Yeah. I know. You know it, I know it. That was appalling, wasn't it? That was absolutely terrible. So, I do the right thing. I'm not a douchebag, shall we say. I pull over, I slow down, I let the Aston Martin go. I'm not that sort of guy to carry on. I made a massive error. I made him lose a lot of time. So it's only right that I slow down and let him back past. Now, again, look at the cars around us. This is not where I want to be. This race is not going the way I want, and this is not where I want to be. I do not want to get caught up in the middle of this battle. So, lap 8. Thinking to myself, do I pit, do I not pit? The tyres are doing great, and I've changed it to -1 to the front because the tyres have worn out even, and I'll probably had about 2 more laps in them. So I thought, right, for the last 2 laps, I want grip. Yeah, I get bullied in that corner, and I mean bullied. I mean, what? The 2 Jags again. I mean, that guy there, that DMR Gene, absolutely deserved to spin out there. He just tried to force this guy off the track ridiculously and spun himself in the process. As I tried to pull over to get in the slip of him, and we sort of collide cars and make it a little bit difficult for ourselves. Now, this is it. I think I've probably got 1 more. This is the last lap, then I'll pit, come in, get those softs on, and we're going to gun it to the end. Now, yeah, I don't know. You know what? I've actually had enough of this. I'm done. I can't be bothered. Yeah, I rage quit. It happened. Yeah, I suck. I suck. But these things happen, you know. And as you saw, I got reset. My SR went down to a B, which sucks pants. Absolute pants. So now I've got to grind to get out of the dirty lobbies. Probably where I deserve. That race was shocking. But yeah, that was my FIA week. How was yours? It can't be any worse than that. So, thanks for watching. Do hit that like button. Do hit the subscribe button. Click the bell. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned.